Another challenger has entered the ring, or is likely to. This is Howard Schultz, American businessman, former CEO of Starbucks, current CEO? I think former. He was for decades.
Is it
Maybe he still is.
I don't know, actually. Okay.
We should find out for sure, because if that is his current position, it's likely to stay his only position, even though he's interested in another one. So I want to add Howard Schultz to a group that Michael Bloomberg is probably part of. These are the likely 1% candidates.
Okay.
Because they're members of the 1%, and at best they will get 1% of the vote in this election, and probably not that. So Howard Schultz is a guy with a lot of different issues. We're gonna break down some of them, but first I do wanna read a few excerpts from an interview that he did for CBS's 60 Minutes, where he talked a little bit about why he would want to potentially run as a third-party candidate. He says, "I'm seriously thinking of running for president. I will run as a centrist independent outside of the two-party system." He characterized himself as a lifelong Democrat, but also criticized what he called both major political parties' failure to meet the needs of the American people, and singled out the soaring national debt as a result of Republican and Democratic elected officials' quote, reckless failure of their constitutional responsibility.
This sounds familiar.
It does, and well, a little bit more. Quote, "We're living at a most fragile time," he says. "Not only the fact that this president is not qualified to be the president," ooh, strong words, "but the fact that both parties are consistently not doing what's necessary on behalf of the American people and are engaged every single day in revenge politics." So I get what he's saying, and if you are gonna run as an independent candidate, you have to attack both the Democrats and the Republicans, but I am just so sick of both sides in the media that I don't need one more person doing it.
Right.
Especially the last couple of years, we don't live in a both sides world. We live in a world where every single side has its flaws, certainly, but they are not equal. And to so casually imply that over the past couple of years, just everybody sucks kind of the same. If that's your opening salvo as a candidate for president, combined with all the rest of what people know about Howard Schultz, which we will get into, that is not strong. That is not a strong entrance, I don't think.
Yeah. I want to hear what we know about him.
Okay, well look, he is a businessman. I was not personally knowledgeable about his past in the world of sports, but Ricky Strom, TYT's jock, accosted me this morning and talked to me at length about the fact that he had lied to the people of Seattle, the Fiend, over the fate of the Sonics, which is a team.
It was a team, it is now.
It was a team, yes, that's true. And it was supposed to stay there, but that bastard, to make some money, sold it off and allowed it to be moved there, and didn't want to invest his own money, and a whole bunch of stuff that's not particularly surprising for a businessman, but is perhaps a little bit surprising for someone who had to have harbored ideas that they might eventually be a candidate for president. So you have that stuff. You have literally decades that you can go back through the history of his tenure with Starbucks, where, look, they have not been necessarily the worst company to their employees. There are some that are far worse, but he has jerked them around in a lot of different ways. And that, once you start going into all of that, that's really going to hurt him. And then once you get into the big policies that are likely to shape the 2020 election, I want to read just a couple more quotes from him. So he says this: "I don't care if you're Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, Republican, bring me your ideas and I will be an independent person who will embrace those ideas because I am not in any way in bed with a party." That sounds like a person who literally landed in a pod yesterday and has nothing that they're bringing to the table.
Right, I'm like, what are your ideas?
Shout at me.
Right. There's gonna be a box in every Starbucks. Send me your ideas. What?
That's not a terrible idea. I would do that actually.
Do you know, like, it's always, especially in women, it's this like, wait your turn, it's not your turn. We're hearing it already about Kamala. We heard it about Elizabeth Warren, what, a month ago it started. We heard it for an entire year about Hillary Clinton. But why don't all these super rich people with way too much other things to do, why don't they wait their turns? Why is that not, do you know what I mean?
Well, they're billionaires. They're used to.
Wait your turn, do something else.
It's their turn if they say it's their turn.
Take a flight, buy an island.
Yeah,
you know?
So here's the big issue. So in this first big interview, this is, "Hey America, I'm Howard Schultz, vote for me for president." He says, "What the Democrats are proposing is something that is as false as the wall, and that is free healthcare for all, which the country cannot afford," says the guy worth $3.4 billion. He is an expert on what the American people, real, regular, working class American people really need, and what the government can actually afford.
That's a scary thing if you work for Starbucks for, like, you know, whatever their minimum wage is. Like, to think, I wonder, like, are they Papa Johning people in there?
I don't know.
Or because
Yeah, my issue is, if this is supposed to be your debut, what is he actually bringing? I'm not a member of a party. Okay, that will be appealing to some people. Bring me your ideas.
Right, I want to hear your ideas.
I guess if you don't have any expectations for the person running initially, okay. He said, by the way, I think Joy retweeted this. He said in an interview, I don't want to speak to any hypotheticals about what I would do as president. I don't think you get what elections are about. You're gonna have to eventually. Donald Trump slid by without getting into much of the specifics, but if you're saying, give me your ideas, anybody, I have no standards, there's no bar, anybody give me your ideas, I've got nothing. Also, I will not tell you anything about what I might do as president. Who would vote for you at this point?
Right.
And why? And look, he is getting that message, I would say, in a lot of different avenues, but one of them is Twitter. So he tweeted this: I love our country and I'm seriously considering running for president as a centrist independent. So you don't see the data there, but this is what in the world of Twitter is referred to as a ratioed tweet, because it had some retweets and some likes and a lot more comments. And I've looked over those comments, they're not positive.
Right.
He has been on Twitter since 2012. He's only tweeted 3 times, and all of it since he announced. Every one of those is ratioed. And that's not a good sign. If you have no natural constituency, the response to you coming out from your end was weak, the reception was horrendous. You already, like Michael Bloomberg has already been saying that he's gonna run. At some point, we're not gonna even be able to tell you guys apart on the stage. Oh. What was that?
That was you shocked me when you said that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought something popped up on the B-roll and I saw Edwin run to his chair and I was like, is there a lizard behind me?
No, it was just funny.
Yeah, and look, one more wrinkle. Just because Howard Schultz is not going to be the next president, he's eventually gonna waste $25 million of his dollars.
Jill Steining us and I'm tired.
Well, Jill Stein represented the Green Party. She's at least got a constituency. There's no, like there are people who are like, I want a third party candidate. There are people who are like, I want an environmentalist. There's nobody who's like, what we need is an arrogant billionaire. I think we've had a little bit of that. Now look, if I could choose between Howard Schultz and Donald Trump, I'd probably choose Howard Schultz. Donald Trump is apparently not that scared of Howard Schultz. He tweeted, Howard Schultz doesn't have the guts to run for president. Watched him on 60 Minutes last night and I agree with him that he is not the quote smartest person. Besides, America already has that.
Has what? The smartest person?
Yes.
He's calling himself?
He means himself.
Okay, all right.
And then he finishes by saying, I only hope that Starbucks is still paying me their rent in Trump Tower. So what he's doing in that last sentence is he has to try to, like a really out of control dog who has to put its paw on you, he has to try to assert dominance. Even if it doesn't make any sense.
But that,
yeah, I hope they're paying their rent, and who cares? He's an actual billionaire, by the way, Donald, not a fake one, not based on a valuation of his brand or whatever. He's an actual billionaire, and his business does pay rent wherever it is. There's thousands of them.
But he's saying he hates me so much, guys, that he's making money with me. And that's an interesting point. That was a good point. All those jumbled up words. That actually was really, like you don't, because there are people who are protesting the tower. LeBron won't stay there. Why are you making money there?
That's true. And we shouldn't be surprised he's making good points. He is the smartest person in America, according to him. And he would know, smartest person.
We already have that.
Anyway, Howard Schultz, you can probably just pull out now. If you want to waste millions of dollars, it's not like you're gonna care. You could spend $400 million and not even know.
Spend it supporting a candidate that needs your support.
I don't think he's gonna do that.
Okay.
I think he's gonna waste some of his money and a little bit of our time. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.